We've got a chance here to take a look at some different drum style and box style magazines of the higher capacity for the AR15 platform rifle. So let's take a look at some. Now obviously we start out with a standard capacity 30 round magazine on these rifles. Surefire a couple years back came out with these 60 round magazines. They're quad stacks, so they're a little thicker than a standard magazine, but once inserted they don't add a heck of a lot of length to the rifle compared to a standard 30 round magazine that gives you 60 rounds without adding really too much more size and just a bit more weight. Another option from Surefire is the 100 round magazines. Now these might not be the most practical things out there. They do add a lot of height or length or whatever you want to call this to the rifle, but it's kind of cool that there's a 100 round box magazine out there, and what they're intended for, they do their job well. So let's take a look at some other options. Probably the best other option on the table would be one of these CMags, Beta Mags, and they take two 50 round drums and incorporate them into one 100 round magazine. And all jokes and stuff aside, these have their good things and their bad things, but I really like them. They don't add much to the height or whatever you want to call this dimension on the rifle. They give you 100 rounds, and these don't necessarily need to be the most technical or awesome things out there. It's nice to be able to have 100 rounds if you're just out plinking and having some fun. Like I said, another inexpensive option would be this 90 round magazine from MWG, and these have been around for quite a while. You can get them for various rifles, mini 14s and such, and they lock into place. It's a 90 round drum, but it's a snail. It all curls up on one side as opposed to the Beta, which curls it on both sides, and it's either an advantage or disadvantage depending on what you're doing. But again, for plinking or something, these are probably a lot of fun, and probably the most economical way to go. This is the one that you don't see as often. This is a Chinese drum. This one's 100 rounds, and it loads very much like an AK-47 drum. Opens up, you load your rounds in there, then you close it up, and then you wind it. Then that puts compression on the springs inside, pushes all rounds through, and it's ready to go. Now these like to be inserted with bolt back, and pretty neat. So it's one drum and it's directly under the rifle, so again, I don't know if that's an advantage or disadvantage depending on what you're doing. If you have a bipod or something, it might not be a bunch of an issue. Obviously it'll add some weight, and depending on your feelings, these are tactical or not, but definitely interesting. They look very similar to an AK-47 style. This one happens to be a 75 round. The only real difference is the part that inserts into the magazine well, of course, is designed to rock into place on the AK-47 as opposed to be inserted up through the mag well on an AR-15. These are expensive. You'll find these very rarely. You'll find them on places like Gunbroker, and they come up occasionally, but they've got some collector's value as well as just being a nice strong magazine. This one can't decompress. In other words, once you load it, the spring compresses and it's just under compression until you use it. Same with all of these actually. So there's a couple of different options for AR-15 drums. I'm sure we've looked at these before. We'll probably look at them again in the future, but had a chance to take a look at all of them at once here, so we thought put the camera on it and make a quick video. Hope it was interesting. As always, thanks for watching.
Guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.